History remembers empires through their emperor: Augustus, Constantine, Justinian. But sometimes the fate of empires depends not on rulers, but on generals. One of the most remarkable among them was a man named Belisarius, a commander whose victories briefly restored the lost territories of Rome, a strategist who defeated stronger armies again and again, and a soldier who remained loyal to his emperor, even when that loyalty was not returned. This is the story of the man many historians call the greatest general of the Eastern Roman Empire, the world Belisarius, inherited by the early 6th century. The Roman world had changed dramatically. The Western Roman Empire had collapsed decades earlier, in 476. Former Roman territories were now ruled by new kingdoms. Italy was controlled by the Ostrogoths, North Africa by the Vandals, Spain by the Visigoths. Only the eastern half of the empire survived. This state, what modern historians call the Byzantine Empire, was ruled from Constantinople, and in 527, a new emperor took the throne. His name was Justinian I. Justinian had a vision. He wanted to restore the Roman Empire to its former glory. But dreams of empire require more than ambition. They require armies. And more importantly, they require generals. The rise of Belisarius was not born into wealth or aristocracy. He came from relatively humble origins somewhere in the Balkans. But from an early age he showed exceptional military talent. He joined the imperial army and quickly gained the attention of Justinian. When Justinian became emperor, Belisarius was already proving himself as a capable officer. His first major test came on the eastern frontier. The Byzantine Empire was locked in conflict with one of its most powerful rivals, the Sassanid Persian Empire. These wars were brutal and complex. Persian armies were experienced, well-organized, and often numerically superior. Yet in 530, Belisarius achieved one of his first great victories. At the Battle of Dera, he defeated a much larger Persian force. Instead of relying only on brute strength, Belisarius used defensive positions, trench systems, and careful coordination between infantry and cavalry. The result was decisive. The Persians were forced to retreat. For the first time, Justinian realized he might have found the general capable of carrying out his grand ambitions. The African campaign, Justinian's first major opportunity, came in North Africa. The region had once been one of Rome's richest provinces, but it had fallen to the Vandals, a Germanic kingdom that ruled from Carthage. In 533, Justinian launched a bold expedition. The task of commanding it fell to Belisarius. The risks were enormous. The Byzantine army was relatively small, numbering perhaps around 15,000 soldiers. They would face an entire kingdom. But Belisarius understood something many commanders overlook. War is not only about numbers. It is about timing, discipline, and leadership. When his forces landed in North Africa, Belisarius moved quickly. He avoided unnecessary battles and kept strict discipline among his troops to prevent looting. This helped maintain support among the local population. Soon, the two armies met near AD Decimum, outside Carthage. Despite chaotic conditions and multiple moving columns, Belisarius managed to hold his forces together while the Vandal army became disorganized. The result was a decisive Byzantine victory. Carthage fell soon afterward, within months. The entire Vandal kingdom collapsed. North Africa returned to Roman control. It was one of the most rapid and successful campaigns of the age, and it made Belisarius famous throughout the empire. The Gothic War, but Justinian's ambitions were far from satisfied. The ultimate prize was Italy, the ancient heart of the Roman world. At the time, Italy was ruled by the Ostrogoths, a powerful kingdom with experienced warriors. In 535, Belisarius began the campaign that would define his career. The war started in Sicily. The island fell quickly, providing a base for further operations. From there, Belisarius advanced north toward the Italian mainland. City by city, fortress by fortress, he pushed forward. Eventually, he reached Rome itself. The city had symbolic value far greater than its military strength. When Belisarius entered Rome in 536, it was a moment that seemed almost impossible. After decades of barbarian rule, the ancient capital was once again under Roman control. But the victory was only the beginning. The Ostrogoths soon returned with a massive army. Rome was surrounded. The siege of Rome lasted more than a year. Belisarius commanded far fewer troops than his enemies. Yet, through defensive tactics, supply management, and relentless determination, he managed to hold the city. Repeated assaults failed. The Gothic army eventually withdrew. It was one of the most remarkable defensive victories of the era. Victory and suspicion eventually, after years of fighting. Belisarius pushed deeper into Italy. In 540, he captured the Gothic capital of Ravenna. The Austro-Gothic leadership even offered him something extraordinary. They proposed that Belisarius should become emperor of the Western Roman Empire. It would have meant enormous power, possibly even independence from Constantinople, but Belisarius refused. Instead, he remained loyal to Justinian. He took Ravenna and returned it to imperial control. From a political perspective, this loyalty should have secured his position forever. But imperial courts are rarely simple. Success can create enemies. Some in Constantinople began to fear Belisarius' popularity. Others suspected his ambitions. Despite his victories, Belisarius was repeatedly recalled, reassigned, and sometimes even sidelined. The final years later in life, Belisarius was called upon once again to defend the empire. In 559, a group of steppe raiders, known as the Kutrigers, threatened Constantinople itself. Belisarius, now older and commanding a much smaller force, organized a defense. Using clever tactics and disciplined formations, he managed to repel the invaders. Even in his later years, his military instincts remained sharp. Yet his relationship with Justinian remained complicated. Some historical accounts claim that Belisarius was briefly accused of conspiracy and placed under house arrest. Although he was later pardoned, the episode reflects the fragile nature of power in imperial politics. Belisarius eventually retired from public life. He died around the year 565. The legacy of Belisarius never ruled an empire. He never wore a crown, but his campaigns temporarily restored vast territories once lost to Rome. North Africa returned to imperial control. Italy was reclaimed, at least for a time. His victories demonstrated something important about military history. Great generals do not rely only on strength. They rely on discipline, adaptation, and the ability to make decisions under pressure. Belisarius repeatedly faced enemies with larger armies, yet through strategy, mobility, and leadership, he achieved victories many believed impossible. In many ways, he represented the last great commander of the Roman military tradition, a tradition that stretched back centuries, from Scipio to Caesar. And finally, to Belisarius. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell icon to be notified of new videos.